In this video, I'm going to show you the right way to actually think about using a clipper and how they can fix specific problems in your mix. And instead of showing you some magic black box solution, I want you guys to actually understand what's happening in your mix. Because if not, it's like you're a hockey player sliding around without skates. So I'm actually going to start out by showing you something a little bit counterintuitive about your vocals that 90 to 95% of y'all are probably missing. And I'm going to show you this with fully stock plugins so you can get right into just actually doing it yourself. Okay, so you dialed in your EQ and compression, you remembered not to stay in micro mode, but then you press play and something weird happens.
Come on, babe, tonight I'm gonna make it right, yeah. I'm gonna take it up a notch, let's get high.
So if you didn't catch it, I'm going to play the vocals in solo and show you what's going on. So as you're going to see, the vocals are exceeding 0 decibels for a few milliseconds because they get through your compressor's attack. So watch right here.
Come on, babe, tonight I'm gonna make it right.
And it happens for such a short period of time that I would bet a lot of you guys don't even know what's going on. If you watch my video on compression, you know that you actually need to have a somewhat slow attack to let some of the transients through and make the vocal sound up front. So what do? Because this can become a problem, especially when you apply limiting to your mix bus or even some other effect. And even if you export without any mix bus processing, the excessive volume on one track can eat up transients on another, like this. So you could use a limiter, but then this would happen.
Come on, babe, tonight I'm gonna make it right.
So right here you can see how much it's gain reducing, and it's a lot. Especially if you put this back in the mix, it's gonna pretty much take out that consonant sound, and you're gonna be left with way less of an impact. This is without the limiter.
Come on, babe, tonight I'm gonna make it right.
And this is with the limiter.
Come on, babe, tonight I'm gonna make it right.
So as you heard, it almost completely removed that consonant sound, and it kind of removed some of the impact of that first vocal. So instead, try using a soft clipper to cut off that transient before it gets to the final signal. With this method, ideally you don't need a limiter, but for illustration purposes, I'm going to show you what it sounds like with the soft clipper going into the limiter versus just the limiter on its own. So this is just the limiter.
Come on, babe, tonight I'm gonna make it right, yeah.
But then if we engage the soft clipper beforehand, you're going to get that clarity back.
Come on, babe, tonight I'm gonna make it right, yeah.
And as you can see right here, the limiter is technically still reducing gain in some instances, but it's by a lot less. And you really get that impact back from that first start of the vocal. Now we'll get into using a clipper for drums, and I'm going to show you how it can sometimes save your mix and make it better translate to the real world. And if you don't know what a clipper is, let me quickly explain that. So this relates to the time domain too, and people often don't understand the importance of using a clipper because they mix on good studio monitors. Now this can be great for a lot of things, but not so good for revealing the true impact of certain transients. Firstly, if you don't know what a clipper is, it can be used to tame down excessively loud transients. A transient is that short initial loud part of a sound, for example, the hit of a snare or a kick. To cement this in your head, this is similar to the word transitory, which you might have heard from a politician saying something like, inflation is transitory, which if true, it means inflation is bound to go away instead of linger. However, clippers differ from limiters in one key way. Instead of just turning down the volume of the entire transient, it just clips off those loud peaks that occur for just a few milliseconds. In turn, this causes a little bit of distortion because it's almost like lowering the maximum ceiling of volume and in turn clipping. But it happens so fast that our brains don't even register it. Now you can push this effect to the extreme to the point where it becomes completely obvious, but for our purposes, it's essential to use clippers on drums and perhaps your vocals and bass because it will catch what your compressors don't without reducing the perceived impact of the transient like a limiter would. And what we know about compression is that you need the attack to let some of the transient through to actually make something sound more upfront. So that clipper is kind of like that safety net to make sure none of those transients are excessive or really clipping, which could cause damage to your track or make it so when you play it back in your car, that kick is just a little bit too loud and causes a little bit of distortion. So the reason this is crucial for translating across all devices, and especially your car, is that even though we don't necessarily register those those loud transient peaks. When played back on consumer speakers like the ones in your car, they can cause distortion that leads to an unpleasant sound. This is because, well, on one hand, your monitors are designed to reveal the full extent of the signal without distorting, but at the same time, your car speakers will more readily distort just from a few milliseconds of a kick or a snare that's too loud. So now I'm going to show you this effect on drums in this track right here. And what you're going to see is that without any dynamic control, the kick is clipping for a few milliseconds right here. Pay attention to this limiter, and the purple part is the amount that it's reducing. So you see right here, it's actually limiting quite a bit on that kick, and it kind of reduces the perceived impact. Now, when we engage the soft clipper, it's going to make it so that limiting isn't as pronounced. Okay, that deserves a like right there. So as you heard, by engaging the soft clipper first, it makes it so the kick sounds a little bit more full and big. And the sonic effect was pretty subtle while playing in solo, but you're actually gonna see that in the mix, this can make a huge difference. So check this out. I'm gonna play first the track with limiting on its own, and then I'm gonna play the track with clipping before limiting, and you're gonna see that the kick sounds louder and more full.
You said it's only for the moment. I think you lied today.
So as you heard, when I disengaged the soft clipper, the kick kind of disappeared. And this can actually be used for cool automation tricks and when you want to build energy or take it away in the song. But in general, this is something you need to know because clipping can really save your mix from translating when there's no limiter, or save it by still sounding good when you are using a limiter. Now, it's important to note that you can use different types of clippers to achieve different effects, and a lot of people like using hard limiters on drums. I will make a video about that in the future, but for now, I just wanted to show you guys the power of a clipper and how it can also prepare things for getting louder in the mastering process or just save your mix in general. And also, if you've made it this far, you're probably really passionate about music, so I would encourage you to participate in my Fix Your Mix Challenge. All you need to do is send your stems to this email right here within 14 days, and then if your mix gets selected, I'll fix it and post it in a video coming up shortly, something like this. Also, if you want to know how pros actually use compression, which is something you do before clipping, you should watch this video right here. Thank you guys for watching. If you found value in this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Send it to your dad, and have a good day.